Hello and welcome here to Talk FCP and welcome to the preview of Rayo Vallecano against Barcelona coming up tomorrow afternoon, and it's going to be a brilliant game. And I tell you why, because Paco Gémez, who is the manager of Rayo Vallecano, is a really brilliant manager, and I respect his philosophy and I really do respect his side, Rayo. They're always punching above their weight. Every season Paco Gémez has landed with 10, 12, 15 new players. They get loan deals in, they don't have much money to spend, but every single year they manage to survive, sometimes even managing to, break into the top 10 in the division, and also playing some really brilliant, expansive football. And he does play the right way. He plays a passing style, he likes to attack teams, and they won't change their philosophy when they play us tomorrow. And that's the brilliant thing. They're not going to park the bus, and I think that's reflected in our last few meetings with Rayo. And to be fair, it hasn't worked out too well for Paco Gémez, but I certainly respect him for sticking to his philosophies and really going for it in games like this. In our last meeting at the Camp Nou in February, we won 6-0. Remember that brilliant Lionel Messi chip goal against Rayo in last September away from home. We won 4-0. The meeting before that, 3-1. Then a 5-0 away, then a 7-0 away, then a 4-0 at home. So you can see the pattern emerging. Rayo go for it, but they don't quite get there, and we do make them pay. But at the end of the day, it's good to see teams that do go for it, that do play football the right way, and go out there to win matches as opposed to drawing and parking the bus. So we should win this game. There's no doubt about it. Disappointment against PSG in midweek. The perfect way now is to bounce back in La Liga. Of course, we've still got our clean sheet record going in La Liga. Still haven't conceded a goal. I'd love to keep that coming. But having said that, Rayo are on decent form. Until last week, they didn't have a single win in La Liga, but in 1 week, they've had 2 wins. A brilliant win just in midweek against Athletic. A brilliant win. They had 2-1 there, and then they beat Levante away from home 2-0. So they've hit a bit of a run of form. The one player that I would watch out for is Leo Baptistao. He's on loan from Atletico Madrid. He started his career in Spain with Rayo at some stage. Then he moved to Atletico, and he hasn't really got a chance at Atletico, but they've loaned him back to Rayo, and he's hit 4 goals in his last 2 games. A really promising young striker. So watch out for him. But in terms of, us, we should have enough firepower to deal with Rayo. And if you're going to look at the team here, this is the team that I think should face Rayo, and it does involve giving some players a chance and rotating some players who maybe didn't play as well as they should have against PSG in the week. I'd start with Bravo, not because of Ter Stegen and anything he did against PSG, but simply because Bravo is our league keeper. He's been on the best form and he still hasn't conceded a goal in La Liga, so I start with Claudio Bravo. Left back Jordi Alba, disappointing against PSG, but I expect him to bounce back strongly. Jeremy Mathieu, a fantastic defender who's been probably our best and most reliable defender to date. Gerard Piqué deserves a return to the side. He's been called up to the Spanish national side, as has Jeremy Mathieu. He's been called up to the French squad, which is great to see, him having some success with the national side. I'd start Piqué, see what he can produce. It's his time to shine now. He's got his chance, and I expect him to be a lot more comfortable, a lot more committed at the back. And I'd certainly give Martin Montoya a chance. We saw how poor Dani Alves was in midweek. Douglas is training with the squad now, but I think it's time for Montoya to get some games under his belt. If he plays well here, I'd like to see him play against Eibar. And then if he plays well there, I'd like to see him play against Ajax. Keep him in the side, keep him playing. If he's playing well, give him some confidence, and hopefully he can be our man and be our right back, which we desperately need at the moment. I'd give Javier Mascherano a chance in defensive midfield. We saw how good he was for Argentina at the World Cup in that position. I'd certainly like to see him there, because Busquets wasn't quite on it against PSG. He's usually at the top of his game no matter what. He's usually a really phenomenal player, but it was just one game which didn't really happen for Sergio, and I think if we give him a little bit of a rest, we can certainly bring Mascherano in to see what he can do. Iniesta and Rakitic in midfield. We could possibly rest Iniesta and play Rafinha in that position, but I've gone with Rafinha in the front 3. But going on to those, Lionel Messi, who of course has come out today about the tax evasion. He'll have to go on trial to see what happens with that. But putting all that aside, I don't really want to talk about that because it really does get under my skin. It's an annoying thing that's been dragging on now for far too long, and it's getting to the point where it's really a personal agenda against Lionel Messi, and it's getting a bit ridiculous now. Neymar has been suffering with some ankle discomforts. He's been training alone for most of the weekend in the gym, but he has been back in full training for the last few days, so he should be okay for this match. And if he doesn't start, then he'll certainly be on the bench, but I do expect him to pull through with this one. It's nothing serious regarding his ankle. And Rafinha Alcantara, I'd like to see him in an attacking midfield position because I think that's his best position. A lot of people haven't really given him a chance yet at Barcelona. Luis Enrique's got a lot of belief in him, but he hasn't quite been able to fit him into that attacking midfield role yet. He was outstanding outstanding at Celta Vigo last season, and if we can get the best out of Rafinha, he really can be something quite special. So I want to see the best out of him, and I want to see him getting some playing time, because Pedro hasn't done enough to start. He's really been annoying a lot of Kules this week, really annoyed with his performance against PSG. Munir and Sandro have been decent, but nothing quite spectacular apart from Munir's long-distance strike against PSG, which hit the post, which is unlucky. But that's the team I'd start with. You know, there's going to be some alterations. That's not necessarily the team that Luis Enrique will choose to go with. You know, with very unpredictable as his lineups are, so we'll have to see what he comes up with tomorrow. But in terms of the game, we should win it, as I say. We should win it comfortably at the end of the day. But going away at Rayo is always a test. The crowd really get behind them there, so we'll have to go there with good confidence. We'll have to build up our confidence again after getting beaten by PSG. But certainly want to carry on the good form in La Liga. We want to keep extending our points at the top and make sure that we're clear up there, and carry on the clean sheet record which we got going and not conceding any goals, which is great. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Please leave your thoughts below. What do you think the score will be against Rayo Vallecano tomorrow afternoon? And also, what lineup would you go with for the game, which will be a tough one, but one we expect to win? So thanks for watching, guys. Visca Barça.